here, an original freedom rider, okay? So you guys are so lucky to have met all of these wonderful people, and Dr. Gray that came today. You had Mrs. James here. You had Mr. Alan Martin here. You had Mr. Preston here. You had Mr. Taj Hobson here. You had Mr. Who was it? Oh, yep, Mr. David Law here. You had Dr. Porter here. You had Miss Jessie Brown here. You guys had a lot of people, a lot of information, and Deacon, Deacon Jefferson here, you know, the one that helped with the volleyball, not dodgeball, and the sports. Yep, Miss Sheila Finney, Miss Piazza. See, you guys are remembering. You know, y'all are gonna make me get all emotional, cry, because I'm not gonna, well, I'm gonna see a lot of y'all later, but you know, for the majority of you guys, you know, I want to see you guys become doctors, lawyers, entertainers, astronauts, scientists, preachers, find a cure for something. Okay, health and nutrition, school teachers, football player, model, singer, dancer, actress. Okay, I want to see you guys do great. You know, because then when I get, you know, old and I can see y'all, I say, hey, I forgot these things. I remember you were backwards. I'm like, can I get a ride to the store? Sure. You wasn't that bad. Okay? So, you guys are the future. If you understand that, each one of you have power. Little do you know, but it's how you use that power. Knowledge without wisdom, you remember that? Okay? You gotta have knowledge, but you also have to have wisdom with that knowledge. Everybody in this room is very smart, educated. Majority of you guys are on the honor roll. How many people in here on the honor roll? Wow, that's excellent. Okay. So, that means how many of you going to be on the honor roll? I'm going to stay on the honor roll. Okay. So, you guys got to remember one thing that is very important. And this you cannot forget, okay? The most important thing to remember about this program is that everybody that came here, they love you, okay? They love you. They spread love. Mrs. Parks was about love. She loved the children, okay? And so I'm very honored to do this and work with the Institute as much as I can, as many days as I can, many months and years, to make sure that her vision continues. Okay, no matter how much and how busy I am, I'm gonna always find time. So you guys gotta make time. Okay? So when you get up here and you do your performances, and this represents yourself, not only Ms. Parks. When you get up here, you do your very best. Because I know you guys can do it. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Because all of y'all are great, right?
Yes.
Say, I'm great.
I'm great.
No, say, I'm great.
I'm great.
I'm wonderful.
I'm wonderful.
I'm a leader.
I'm a leader.
And you gotta believe it, okay?
I invited a special guest today. We have a component in our program that's called Rosa Parks Next Generation. So what do you think that means? Alexis?
They want to be like Rosa Parks?
Yes. And the next generation means that they're younger people. Because we're the elders. And we're looking at the next generation of Rosa Parks. All of you are Rosa Parks next generation. And so this young lady has committed herself to be a water warrior. So Mrs. Parks was a civil rights warrior, and she paid attention to civil rights. She paid attention to poverty. And so we have Next generation, we're gonna ask all of you to be part of the voting rights group. The legacy of Rosa Parks and voting. How many of you are gonna be the legacy of Rosa Parks and voting? Okay, let's see, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oh, okay. I see 100%. Okay? We need 100% because right now we have a very challenging election. Did you know that, Marcus? We have a very challenging election. And what did Alexis say that some people are saying? Some people are saying that they didn't want to vote because what? What did you say, Alexis? Stand up and say it again.
That, they think it's stupid to vote because they feel like their vote don't matter.
That their vote don't matter. And guess what? If you have a candidate that you want to elect and you don't vote, then the other candidates get your vote because you didn't vote. And what did we tell you to do with that information? What were you supposed to do? What were you supposed to do? Stand up and say what you're supposed to do.
We were supposed to go home and ask our parents to vote, or else they could ruin our life forever.
Yes, okay. So we want everybody to be an advocate for voting rights. We want to protect the vote and we want to get out the vote. And so we're going to have all of you have opportunity to earn some points, and we're going to turn the points into dollars by getting people to pledge to vote, and when they bring you back their voting pledge, then you get points that will turn to dollars. So we're going to have a theme, it's called Honor Rosa Parks Vote. Can all of you say that?
Honor Rosa Parks vote.
Okay? And so the purpose of me saying that to you is because the water warriors are going to be letting you know something that you have to vote on. Your parents are going to have to vote on legislation that makes water a human right. Remember we talked about water as a human right?
Yeah.
Yes. And so this young lady, I'm going to let her introduce herself, how old she is, and what she's been doing to be an advocate for water. And remember I said Mrs. Parks was an advocate and an activist? This is a young Rosa Parks legacy activist. She's been doing water work right alongside me and her mother. And we are, why don't you stand up, Nicole Hill? Okay. And then her big sister. Hello. And her big brother. Stand up. And your name? I forgot. Say your name. You gonna be shy? Okay. So I want you all to hear about what she's done, so you all can join in the fight and be water warriors and make sure that you're getting people out to vote. Because you all can do that. We have a responsibility as young people to teach up 3 generations and to teach back 3 generations. You're going to teach young people who are younger than you, and you're going to teach people who are older than you about voting. Okay? How many can do that? How many think they can do that? Okay. Very good. So you all going to be getting out the vote. You're going to honor Rosa Parks and do what?
Vote.
Okay.
Parents have to vote.
Yes, get their parents, everybody who's voting age, you want them to go and vote. Because their vote is going to do what?
Make a difference.
Make a difference for your life. And you want that to happen. Okay? Okay, so what are you going to share about water?
My name is Kehlani Rose Jones, and I'm 10 years old. The water is poison, and people have got sick from it, and kids have got brain damage. And
That was good. Keep on. Good.
That's good. Do you have anything else you want to tell them? You can come and help. Big sister can help. Come on. Say what else you want to add to it.
I mean, we need clean water to survive.
What happens when you don't have water?
If we don't have water, we can't take showers, bathe ourselves, or brush our teeth and cook. And if we don't have the water down.
Very good. Okay. What do you all say? Because what? Because water is vital. Okay? Okay.
My name is Elijah Sanders. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a proud member of the Pathways to Freedom program, where our theme is where have we been and where are we going. I stand before you today for two reasons. Primarily, number one, I am a graduate and now alumni of this program. I am the sole student for the 2014 program and the first disabled student to make the entire journey. And I am an intern of this program who is responsible for teaching these students. And as part of that, I would like to tell you a little bit about the room that you're in today. You are in the B.L. Hooks Fellowship Hall. Dr. Benjamin Lawson Hooks was pastor of this church for 30 years. He was pastor of the Greater Middle Baptist Church for 52 years. He was executive director of the NAACP for 16 years. And he was a federal communications commissioner and first black judge in the South since Reconstruction. In his roles, he welcomed freedom fighters like Rosa Parks and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to be here in this church as they sought to bring forth change and teach the world that yes, we are our children's best teachers. And with a little hard work, anyone can be anything they want to be. So in that same spirit, I present to you Marcus Davis to give us a welcome for the morning.
From the Pathways to Freedom. My name is Marcus Davis, and I'm a proud member of Pathways to Freedom, where our theme is where have we been and where are we going?
Count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Miss Aldridge, who was an original freedom rider, so she's going to speak first, and I'm going to come in behind her.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It's so good to see so many out. This is such a wonderful occasion, and the young people are just doing wonderfully. I am so happy, and I know Mrs. Parks would be really proud. Absolutely. Now, in 1989, and the Michigan Coalition decided to do what we call freedom tours, and taking young people down south to historic civil rights sites. And I spoke about that this morning at another school. And we just come back from one in June, where we took a group of students to Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and all the things that you read about, Edmund Pettus Bridge, and Selma, and Birmingham. And what we talked a lot about this morning was Birmingham and the Young People's March. In 1963, the young people in Birmingham, Alabama decided that they had had enough of this, what it was complete silliness that was happening in Birmingham, Alabama, where it was Easter time. And you know how we are about Easter, or at least we used to be. What you do on Easter time?
Get dressed up.
Get dressed up, get you some new frocks, and get ready to go to church. First thing, go to church, and then if there was some time left over, you might go to the movies. Anyway, I shall be brief. So, in that time, in Birmingham, Alabama, black people could not try on the clothing in the stores. You could not touch the clothes. You could not try on shoes. And if you tried on these things or touched them, guess what?
You had to buy them.
You have to buy them. That's right, they were yours. You know, just like their signs say, if you drop something and you break it,
It's yours.
it's yours. Okay? So we couldn't do these things in Birmingham. Plus, everybody knows Birmingham was called Bobbingham, Alabama. Bombs going off all the time in retaliation and all this sort of thing. So the young people, now when I say young people, we're talking 14 and 15 years old, because their parents were afraid to participate because they thought they would lose their job. Young people jumped out of the windows of the high school and went downtown and demonstrated. A number of them were arrested by the thousands. Now seriously, 3,000 or so young people were arrested. But what did they find out? That young people had power. That young people could make a difference. And we're talking young people now. We have 13-year-olds, 14, 15, and then there was an instance where a young boy, 4 years old, just like Aaron there, and someone asked him what was he trying to do. And he said he was trying to get some Tito. He couldn't say freedom. He couldn't even say the word. But at any rate, so we visited all these sites where all this went on, and as a result of the young people being there, all this was changed. And we got what we call the Public Accommodations Act of 1964, allowing black people to go into the stores and try on food or clothes and go downtown and get them a hamburger. See, a lot of people had this dream, oh, one of these days I'm gonna have me a hamburger downtown. So all this happened as a result of the young people. We kept these tours going for a number of years, and oh, wasn't it so wonderful that Mrs. Parks went with us.
Wow.
And she was such an inspiration to everybody who met her, but she was so happy to go down because she was, after all, the person who was a youth advisor to the NAACP in Montgomery, Alabama. We already know about the Montgomery bus boycott. So, then MCHR and the Rosa Parks Institute did what we call a reverse tour. We brought people up because we go down there and they say, we want to come up there and see what's happening. And you can come to Detroit City, that's what they call it outside Detroit City. So at any rate, that has been what our collaboration has been, and we continue this. And we hope to continue and to turn all of these things we're doing over to
The next generation.
the next generation over there. Elijah is, like he said, he's a graduate. And I just love to talk to Elijah because he loves his people, he loves the history, and we just love to just talk about it. You know how some people in church say, oh, I just love to talk about the Lord and everything. Well, he loved to talk about the Lord and the history of his people. So, thank you very much.
What we did was called a collaboration. And when you collaborate, it means you join together. So that if I was going to just do something by myself, it wouldn't be as strong as if I joined together.
That's right.
So we joined the Rosa Parks Institute, which had just been founded. Mrs. Parks and Elaine Steele
Right.
founded the Institute to serve young people ages 11 to 17. So we went on the first Freedom Tour as a collaboration with MCHR, and what we did was we showed them Mrs. Parks' history. So we took them to the department store where Mrs. Parks worked. We rode around to where Mrs. Parks lived when she was in Montgomery. We went to the bus stop, the route that the bus took when she used to take the bus home from work. And we saw all of that. And then we went, and then we also went to see the church where the people gathered to form the Montgomery bus boycott. And it was the church where Dr. Martin Luther King had become the young pastor at that church. We also went by Mrs. Parks' church that she went to when she was living in Montgomery. Then we took the bus to where was Mrs. Parks born? Tuskegee. We took the bus to Tuskegee, and we spent time looking around that town, and we met Mr. Fred Gray, who was one of the attorneys. He was the mayor of Tuskegee, and we met him. So what we were doing is we were introducing our young people to the living legends of history so that they met them in person. They didn't read about them in the book. They got a chance to see them, those who were in it. And that's real important. So that's why we were telling you it was important when you have speakers that they give you a gift. So we went around and we had all of that experience. And we had 2 young people that we sponsored on the tour. And as Dorothy has said, we continued to do that. We did the Reverse Freedom Tour, and then we started to explore the history of the Underground Railroad. So our first focus was on the trail of the Freedom Riders, and we went to the cities where the Freedom Riders had gone when they traveled, and we learned nonviolent behavior at the in Atlanta when we went to the King Center. And so we did a lot of learning, and we had a lot of experiences while we were on that tour. In fact, one of the things I will tell you real quick. Okay, so I'm going to do the speed up and get finished so we can go on with the program. But what we did was we had the Freedom Tour tracing the Underground Railroad, and we went to many, many places that you can ask me a question about it after the program is over, and we would continue that. But the important thing that I want you to know is that when you learn something in this program, you have a responsibility to take it back to the community and share it. Mrs. Parks shared everything that she had. She shared her food, she shared her clothing, she shared her knowledge, she shared her passion, she shared her commitment. Mrs. Parks' act of courage, she was ready to die. She said, why do you treat us that way? She was ready to die. So when you're reenacting the program for your parents, we want you to put your hearts in it. Because Mrs. Parks put her heart into everything by caring about humanity. Okay? So we are wonderfully blessed to be able to share what we know as elders with you, knowing that you're going to share it with others. So we thank you for that.
Made Miss Steele and Miss Peak proud, and all of the wonderful guests, and Miss Carol, and Mrs. Nina Donaldson, and Miss Aldridge, and Miss Cavill, and all of and Dr. Gray, all of the wonderful people that have came and spoken, like Mr. James. So many people have come, and you guys have learned a lot more than just paying attention can save your life. But you guys, that was great. You guys all remember that. We have another great thing for you guys. This will be the last performance. This is the bus scene from the day Mrs. Parks, before she got arrested. Okay? And they have worked hard, and they are even going to do a great job up here. But I am super happy to have worked with these young students for 2 weeks. It was my pleasure, and has been my pleasure, to really see the growth. And I don't want to get up here because I'll be crying, because you know, y'all my little babies now. But you guys are really, I'm really proud of you. You know, so whatever you have learned within the 2 weeks, and I know you learned a whole lot more than just what you said, but take that with you through life, okay? Make sure you take it with you through life, all right? So what we're going to do now, I'm going to introduce you to Elijah Sanders again, Minister Elijah Sanders, and he is going to conduct the busing for us, right? Okay.
The second time I tried to register to vote, I was put off the Montgomery City bus for the first time. I didn't follow the rules. Black people had special rules to follow. Some drivers made black passengers step to the front door and pay their fare. And then we had to get off and go around to the back door and get on. Often, before black passengers got around to the back door, the bus would take off without them. There were 36 seats on the Montgomery bus. The first 10 were reserved for whites, even if no white passengers were on the bus. There were no law about the 10 seats of the back of the bus, but it was sort of understood that they were for black people. Blacks were required to sit in the back of the bus, but it was and even if they were empty seats in the front, we couldn't sit in them. Once the seats in the back were filled, then all of the other black passengers had to stand. If the whites were filled up in the front section, some drivers would demand the blacks to give up their seats in the back section. It was up to the bus driver. If they choose to adjust the seating in the middle 16 seats, they carried guns and had what they called police power to rearrange seating and enforce all the other rules of segregation on the buses. Some bus drivers were meaner than others. Not all were hateful, but segregation itself was vicious. And to my mind, there was no way you could make segregation decent or nice or acceptable. The driver who put me off was a mean one. He was tall, thick-set, with an intimidating posture. His skin was rough looking, and he had a mole near his mouth. He just treated everyone black badly. I had been on this bus as a passenger before. I remember when a young woman got on the front of the bus and started to the back, and he made her get off the bus and go around to the back door. One day in the winter of 1943, the bus came along, and the back was crowded with black people. They were even standing on the steps leading up from the back door, but up front there were vacant seats right up to the very front seats. So I got on at the front of the bus and went through a little bunch of people standing in the back. I looked towards the front and I saw the bus driver standing looking at me.
Get off the bus and go through the back door and get on.
I'm already on the bus and don't see a need to get off and get back on when people are standing in the step.
If you can't get off the bus and go through the back door, you will have to get off my bus.
Rosa Parks stood up and the bus driver came back and took her coat sleeve, not her arm, just her coat sleeve. He didn't take out his gun. I was hardly worth the effort because I wasn't resisting. I just didn't get off and go around like he told me to. So after he took my coat and sleeve, I went up to the front. I dropped my purse. Rather than bend over to get it, I sat right down in the front seats. And in sitting position, I picked up my coat.
Get off the bus.
I'm going to, but I know one thing, you better not touch me.
He didn't strike me. I got off. I heard somebody mumble from the back.
I don't understand why she just didn't get off and go to the back.
Got on the bus. When I got off from work that evening, I went to Court Square as usual and catch the Cleveland Avenue bus home. I didn't look to see who was driving when I got on. By the time I recognized him, I had already paid my fare. It was the same driver who put me off back in 1943, 12 years earlier. I didn't know if he had been on this route before they switched drivers around sometime. I don't know that most of the time I saw him, I wouldn't get on the bus. I saw a vacant seat in the middle of the section of the bus, and I took it. The man sitting next to the window and two women across the aisle. The next stop was Empire Theater, and some whites got on. They filled up the white seats, and one man was left standing. The driver looked back and noticed that the man was standing. Then he looked back at us.
Let me have those front seats.
Because they were the front seats of the black section. Didn't anybody move. We just sat right there where we were, the four of us.
Y'all better make it light on yourselves and let me have those front seats.
The man in the window next to me stood up, and I let him move past by me. Then I looked across the aisle, and I saw the two women who were also standing. I moved over to the window seat. I couldn't see how standing up would make it light for me. The more we gave in and complied, the worse they treated us. People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired, but that's not true. No, the only tired I was giving in.
Are you going to stand up?
No.
Well, I will have you arrested.
You may do that.
He got out of the bus and stayed outside for a few minutes waiting for the police. Two policemen came and got on the bus.
Why didn't you stand up?
Why do you guys treat us like that?
I don't know what the laws do and you're under arrest.
One policeman picked up my purse, the second policeman picked up my shopping bag and escorted me to the squad car. In the squad car, they returned my belongings to me. They did not put their hands on me or force me into the car. After I was seated in the car, they went back to the driver.
You want to swear out a warrant? After I finish my route, I'll be straight there to swear out a warrant.
Now, pathway student, I would like one of you to introduce one of the trainers here, and we know how to introduce a trainer to your parents and family members, okay? So we would like to start with Kyla. Introduce one of the trainers in the program that have trained you guys. We need trainers in here.
Hello, my name is Michaela Johnson, and the person I would like to introduce is Miss Barbara Campbell. She taught us etiquette. She taught the gentlemen how to let the ladies go first. She taught us how to put our silverwares in our plates. She taught the gentlemen to, when a lady needs help, to help them. She taught the gentlemen how to open doors for the ladies.
We would like to have actually Miriam that played Mrs. Rosa Parks introduce one of the trainers. Can you do that? Anybody would like to?
Okay. Hi, my name is Mariam Teray, and I want to introduce Miss Davis. And so, she was like our director, and she like helped us with the busing, and she helped us with our Pathways to Freedom songs, and she was our director.
And Sinead? Okay.
Hi, my name is Sinead Gibson, and who I would like to introduce is Miss Cabell. She helped us learn about water and what happens if you don't vote. And I'm gonna say that one thing, that if you don't vote, you can ruin your reputation, but not also your reputation, our reputation.
I mean, Myla, sorry, that's.
I would like to introduce Mrs. Steele. She is here. She told us that she was there with Mrs. Rosa Parks, and they were friends, I guess.
I believe so, yeah. Thank you.
Yes. You want to introduce someone? You guys stand forward. Come forward.
Miss Jones, that she taught us manners, and she taught us to sit in a chair properly. She taught us to put the knife on the other side of the plate.
Miss Jones is the lady up there.
Miss Jones.
His grandmother is Miss Jones.
They taught you how to sit in the chair. She taught everybody all.
Okay, so give a round for Mrs. Would you come and introduce one of the trainers?
My name is Trayvon Peak, and I would like to introduce Mr. Sanders for blessing over the food and being here to support us all.
I would like to introduce Miss Lois. She used to take care of Miss Parks when she was alive, and she used to serve her. She used to give her food, but give her baths and stuff. They said that her skin was always sparkling, even though she was in the bed and stuff.
Hi, my name is Aaliyah Davis, and I would like to introduce Tyler Chopson. He taught us about the industry and not to talk bad or crazy to the police, or it'll get you caught up in stuff that you don't want to be caught up in. And also, he told us to have our license right next to us, so we could just take it, so they won't think we're pulling out a gun or something. And
Tyron. Introducing any trainer that was here with you. They might not be here, but you can still name them.
You could repeat the name if you want.
I would like to introduce Mrs. Davis for our opening.
She's already been interviewed.
can repeat, just go ahead.
I would like to introduce Ms. Davis for helping us and, helping us and, teaching us all this stuff. And showing us how to work together and as a team.
And we also have Mrs. Peak, the director of the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute, as well as Ms. Still, the co-founder of the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute. And also Ms. Carolyn, she was here, she was another trainer that was a big part of the program, helping the students with their Who Am I boards, the breakfast, the lunch, helping me to keep them together as well. Oh, yes, and Ms. Lovey as well. She did the breakfasts for the children and students. So they are doing wonderful, and they have learned a lot. It's just probably a lot for them to take in, but they are, I think they have made us all proud. So, in that saying, can you introduce Mrs. Peak? Yes.
Mrs. Peak, she been helping us out, making sure that we do the busing right and make sure we know all the facts about Miss Rosa Parks. And she was a friend of Miss Rosa Parks, and she been helped running this camp for years, her and a few other people. And
Okay. Okay, and we also have, excuse me, Ms. Donaldson. She was also here as your trainer. Remember the day that you watched the movie? Yes. Okay, can someone introduce her? Terrell? Guys, remember how to what? How to what? No. How to. Come on, Terrell.
Great.
Can you introduce either Mrs. Nita Donaldson or Miss Aldridge? Thank you. Okay. You have to come to the front. Really front. Miss Aldridge or Miss Donaldson?
I would like to introduce Ms.
Aldridge? This is Miss Donaldson, and that's Miss Aldridge. She was just up here. You can't see it. Okay.
Miss Aldridge, I guess, for actually helping us out, and she has been a part of the Pathways to Freedom program for a while now. And I remember last year, she used to help us with our freedom fighters. We had a project to do about the freedom fighters. I don't think it was freedom fighters, but we had a whole, I should say that we had a few people, or like more than like 5 people to write about. We used to write about, I don't remember the names because it was last year, but you know, she used to help us, and I would like to thank her for that.
Okay.
I'd like to thank Ms. Jones for helping Mr. Sanders make the script so we can learn the bus line.
I would like to thank Sheila Finney for teaching us about different kinds of tomatoes and letting us garden and grow tomatoes.
Rosa Parks movie, Ms. Donaldson was helping us learn the facts about Ms. Rosa Parks and Mr. Raymond Parks. And she made sure that we had everything down and that we knew as much as possible. And that she kept everybody up and stuff, make sure they was watching the movie.
We had two Carols. And we need to talk.
Introduce the second Carolyn, my mom.
Oh.
Who is here to help us. She was here to help us work on our projects. Even though she wasn't here this week because she wasn't feeling good or she had work. I still would like to thank her for being here to help us.
He taught us about anger, happiness, joy, and sad. He's always the person that every time when somebody feels sad, mad, or something, he'll go up to you and talk to you and make you feel better.
Mr. Jefferson, because I remember it was this one day that he taught us, he gave us this coin that was a $1 bill worth of a coin, and he told us that we had the option to spend it on ourselves or spend it on someone else. And what I chose to do is just keep it because I wanted to remember. I want to keep it to remember from and the day that I actually gave it from, just in case I don't see him before, like see him again. What?
And it's rare.
Probably is rare. I don't know.
You have wonderful children that you all have raised, and it takes a village to raise one. So somebody come to my house and help me, because I got 6. So. But I thank everybody, because without the parents' participation, the children can't learn. Without the teachers, the trainers, all of the speakers that came, I mean, the children are our future. So programs like this is really good for them to be in. And I hope to see them next year to come, because the ages is from 11 to 17. If you have any other family members that you would like to come participate, you can email me for next year, and I'll make sure I send all the emails out. But if they stay in this program up until they're 17, you'll see the difference in what they can do, how they act, what they could be, is to keep them off the street.